Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome my listeners and viewers in the United States and all around the world. I am Vince Rocco, and it is Tuesday morning here in New York City, so let's go behind the headlines and get the real story. But first, this is Talking New York Real Estate. And up front today, selling New York City real estate using social media is an innovative and effective strategy in today's digital age. Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok offer powerful tools for reaching the broad and diverse audiences out there. Real estate agents can showcase high-quality photos and video tours of properties, engaging potential buyers, and visually appealing content. Social media allows for targeted advertising, ensuring that listings touch individuals most likely to be interested based on demographics, interests, and online behavior. Also today, the New York City Real Estate Expo is a premier event that brings together professionals from all sectors of the real estate industry, including brokers, investors, developers, architects, and service providers. The Expo serves as a vibrant hub for networking, education, and business development. Attendees have the opportunity to engage with industry leaders through a series of panel discussions, workshops, and keynote speeches that address current market trends, investment strategies, and emerging technologies. The Expo also features an extensive exhibition hall where companies showcase the latest products and services that can enhance the real estate operations and profitability. This year's event is October 16th, with details to follow. We will discuss and we will have all that and so much more as Talking New York Real Estate gets underway on this very busy Tuesday morning. And in the news this morning, an Amagansett house just a few blocks from the ocean with a pathway directly to the sandy beaches is asking $19.5 million. 7 Mitchell Dunes Lane combines coastal luxury with a whimsical twist on old colonial architecture. This, according to the Corcoran listing. This custom-designed home showcases postmodern architecture, creating a visually appealing design. The 4,200-square-foot home, originally built in 1994 and recently renovated since, begins with a foyer that leads to the living room that features double-height ceilings and a wall of windows. A fireplace warms the room on those special nights. But the irony here is that back in 1999, I could have purchased a house not so far away and also within walking distance to that beach for $500,000. And what did I say? How much? The mistakes we make in real estate. Katharine Hepburn's longtime home in the Turtle Bay Gardens is on the market and asking $7.2 million. Set within the enclave of Turtle Bay Gardens, the stately turn of the 19th century townhouse at 244 East 49th Street has a historic cachet beyond its location in Providence. For many decades, the 4-story single-family property was the New York City home of the late actress, whose elegant mirrored vanity still hangs in the primary bedroom suite. The 4,600-square-foot townhouse offers a mix of elegant interiors and architectural beauty in a private East Side enclave whose residents have included in the past Bob Dylan, Stephen Sondheim, and E.B. White. And it has long been said that buying a home near a park in Manhattan can cost a pretty penny. But is that always the case when it comes to real estate in the borough? Not according to a new report released recently by Property Shark. Experts there analyzed home prices in Manhattan. They set out to see how much homes cost next to the borough's major parks like Central Park compared to properties in the same neighborhoods located away from the green spaces. What they found was not necessarily what house hunters would expect. The report revealed that some Manhattan neighborhoods feature homes with park frontage that are actually cheaper than the area's median sale price. Believe me, it's all in the eyes of the beholder, says this one. Governor Kathy Hochul last week officially paused New York City's congestion pricing program just weeks before it was set to begin. And thank God on that. According to Politico, the governor voiced concerns about the program, which would have charged drivers $15 for entering Manhattan south of 60th Street starting June 30th. And a pre-taped video, Hochul said circumstances have changed since the program was approved in 2019 and cited the effects of the pandemic and high inflation on New Yorkers as reasoning behind halting congestion prices indefinitely. And finally, Pride Month has arrived in New York City, and with it, an endless number of ways to celebrate and support the LGBTQ community. The New York City Pride Parade on June 30th will start at 11 a.m. at 25th Street and 5th Avenue and will proceed south on 5th Avenue for the rest of the afternoon. The theme of this year's New York City Pride is Reflect, Empower, Unite. And with me today are Anthony Kazassis, the Anthony Kazassis, director, founder of New York City Real Estate Expo, and also of One National Real Estate, Mike Bussey from Compass, Alexander Zakarian from Nest Seekers, and William Brown, CEO and founder of Fairly Even.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
All right, everybody, we are back. So this is going to be, one exciting show. I know I keep saying that week after week after week, but this topic, these guests are really, as Mike said earlier, behind the scenes, very full of personality. So we're going to have a lot to talk about, and let's get started. Anthony, I want to talk first to you because you are the king of the New York City Real Estate Expo. And you and I have known each other for 10 years. You said before the show started, the Expo is running 16 years. I didn't realize it was that long. But how does the Real Estate Expo benefit real estate professionals, all of us who work in the field, right? We take the day off, the afternoon off, the morning off, whatever, to come to the Expo. How does it benefit professionals in trying to understand what the market is doing right now, staying on top of trends? Give us a few minutes of why it is important to our community of agents. And as I said at the top of the show, everyone that touches real estate, not just agents.
Sure. First of all, thank you.
My pleasure.
This is beautiful. It was a pleasure to meet Mike Williams here and Alexander. So once again, I'm very proud of you, Vince, and thank you so much. Known you for a long time and really proud of what you do. And this is the same thing. What you're doing here is what we're doing, but a little bit larger and a larger scale.
A lot larger.
The Expo, of course, in the city, there are shows like The Real Deal and Inman and, of course, the New York Build. And our show is catered to real estate-related trade. So we're talking about your broker, your agent,
right.
Your banker.
That's the word I was looking for,
the
trade.
Banker, the mortgage broker, and a mortgage banker. So there's three categories for banks. So with all of that put together, and we're also talking about managing agents and title insurance and lawyers and contractors, all of that's real estate related trade. We're pretty much that show besides The Real Deal. I know Inman News concentrates on technology as well as real estate trends, but we're like similar to The Real Deal, but just a lot larger. I love what Amir does at The Real Deal. I really, truly admire him.
Yeah, I was just at that event.
Yeah, he does an amazing job, and I really like what he does. We have become similar and have become a lot larger. Now, larger is not necessarily better. So it's...
it wasn't so bad last year.
It was, yes. Of course, when we went to the City Field, it was an amazing event, amazing turnout, and we were so proud of what happened. And I know that a lot of people were also very, in the house.
Well, that's a strong following. And one of the things that I always recognized about your event,
yes,
aside from so many of the other events that we have in our industry, is you don't really have a niche, okay?
No.
You kind of have an open, broad,
yes,
hey, everybody who's touches or is related to this industry, come on and have a good time.
yes.
So with that said, let me ask you about networking. What opportunities, we talked a little bit about this offline, right?
Correct.
What kind of networking opportunities can one find, whether you're an agent, a contractor, a banker, or whomever is attending? What can we find at the Expo?
Okay, I'm going to answer that in 2 seconds, but I wanted to say one more thing. Our
Go ahead.
trade show is more of a recruitment type of event. That's the reason why it's so exciting. A lot of people that exhibit at our trade show will get a certain amount of passes, of course. We're not stingy on our passes. We give you the passes because we want you to come back. If you give a pass to Mike, Mike's going to bother you next year, and he's going to want to come back, and you're going to want to come back and exhibit. So our show is more really down and dirty sales, starting at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Okay, most of these trade shows start around 11 or 10, and it ends at a tremendous amount of recruitment and sales because everybody's trying to recruit other sales agents to their firms, and especially in the banking business, other people are trying to, of course, get all those new salespeople. Networking. right after our show ends. Now, the Expo in itself is the largest networking thing out there. You could go to this one trade show and not go to any other trade shows thereafter. But what we do as well after the trade show is we have what's called a virtual event. So it's very easy going. You can stay home. It's only like $25 an hour, and we put you in touch with about 30 people, and everybody's networking, and they truly love that networking ability to stay home and just do that. So we'll be
You are a connector, that's for sure.
We'll be doing that networking as well, and lots of people just love to do the networking, of course.
And what kind of what kind of business development can someone get from that? I mean, I've gone for the past 10 years and loved it. I've spoken, I've taught, whatever, the call of duty is from the king here, I do it because I like it. But I also find that aside from the networking aspect of it all, there's a lot of development that we can do as individual agents, meeting other people that we've not met last year at Citi Field, how many? 14,000?
About 12,000.
12,000, beyond, okay? You want to talk about networking opportunities, beyond belief. And everybody who goes, and so I look at it as helping me develop myself or continuing to develop myself just by meeting new people. As I say for years and years and years, if anything, this is the greatest people business that we can even ever imagine, right? And I was a salesperson all of my life. What types of industry innovations, Anthony, do you have on display or that are showcased? We have, a room filled with all kinds of, trade show people, but what kind of, innovations or what kind of products are these people demonstrating? I did my podcast there for 1 year. We have plenty of, brokerage tables where people come and get introduced to whatever our listings of the month or the flavor of the month is. But we also have a lot of trade show people.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's equally important as just the
Sure.
real estate guy.
Have you guys ever gone to a Greek diner? And the menu is like a Bible. It's really big and thick. That's exactly what we have. So we have it all. We have all the technology, the social media companies. I know that William is a big sponsor, coming in as a gold sponsor with social media. So we have the technology, the social media, the management firms. They're all coming because they all want to talk about and expose and spread the word about their businesses. And so it's not just real estate agents, but it's everybody out there servicing the real estate community, of course. So we definitely do have a lot of guys, and also the miscellaneous is coming in, whether it's candies or cookies, or we even had Coca-Cola coming in as a big sponsor. Bringing in 8,000 Alexander, you were there, so you were there as well. They're all coming in, and they all want to share their ideas because this is a very large community.
I fill up my bag every year with all the souvenirs, and especially if they were frosted cookies, and yesterday was National Frosted Cookie Day. Okay?
We actually brought in a cookie company for this year, so we have some great cookies coming in. We have it all. And Benjamin Steakhouse. So this is giving an idea. They're coming in to slice up some steak, and they'll be there as well. So yeah, exactly. But
I joke about it, but it's fact.
It's amazing,
right? It's amazing. It's fact, and people just look out for it.
Sure.
It's October. I wish it was tomorrow, right? I love that event.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I just went to another event, which it was a great event, but when I went home that evening, and I was pretty prominent with my guys over here doing a lot of this stuff at the event, it just didn't feel to me like the Expo. There's an energy at that Expo. It's hard to kind of put my finger on, but there's an energy at that Expo, especially when we were last year at Citi Field. It's like I'm watching people. I took a car there, right, because I didn't really know how to get there, and people just getting out of cars and like excited to run through the doors, and people inside were like, wait a minute, hold on, you got to register, or where's your pass, or where's your ticket, or whatever. So there is that, and it's different than other events that we have in this town during the year. Why? You touched on a little bit of it, but why? Why does Vince get very excited when he shows up at this every year?
I think we all do.
Year after year.
Yeah, it's our business. You're aggressive. You're a professional. It's like I said in the beginning, you're talking about the best of the best. It's like Top Gun. Vince is a Top Gun. And if Vince could go there and let the people know about what he does, he's excited about that because he's passionate about his business. We're all passionate about our business. I know that William mentioned something. I met William last year, and he came to the expo. And William, please say that one little thing, what you said when you walked into our expo, because he does events as well. Oh.
So, yeah, sure. Hi, my name is William. I'm a part of the Fairly Even team. And there was magnitude of people and a quality of person that attended the show. So quantity and quality, which was really, really phenomenal and amazing. And I really couldn't believe it. I've attended lots of events at like Jacob Javits or in various different locations, but just the amount of thought that went into producing a show at such a high skill, and then getting to meet people firsthand and trading information and skill sets and collaborating was why I was very excited to sponsor and participate.
Well, we're going to get to you in a second because I'm very curious to see, what you're providing again this year. But the collaboration is pretty much what I was getting at before. We go there with, open eyes because we know that the networking is off the charts, but the collaboration that can happen and take place is really astounding. And, that's a tribute to you because I know, being in this industry for a long time and being in the tech industry before this, it ain't easy, okay, to put it all together and to get it out there where people are going to accept it and appreciate it.
True.
And want more.
You know something, and it's kind of interesting. When I was young, like these guys, I would have to pay top dollar just to hear Bob Knackel speak.
There you go.
And this is very interesting because our trade show allows you to come in and see Bob, shake his hand, or Dottie Herman, or Scott Durkin, or Vince Rocco, or now Ryan Serhan. So this show will allow you to run in there and see him and shake hands and listen, because these guys are the pros. And he is a pro as well, so they want to come and hear them. I know when I was young, when I was in my 20s, I said, wow, this is great. I can't wait to go home and tell my mother and my brother that I just went to the event and shook Alexander's hand, the #1 TikToker. So that's the reason why, Vince.
But
we all go these trade shows with big open eyes, and we're excited. We can't wait to get there.
You touch and you feel and you meet, we're going to talk a little bit about influencers later. It's the handshake.
There's no
when I was growing up, you didn't have that. You watched everything at a distance, right? Of course, social media didn't exist, right? What the hell was social media? You looked at everything at a distance. And so these type of events in our industry today give you the opportunity to be there, to handshake, to touch and feel, to understand, to look at people who you admire. I mean, I follow people, as we all do, on social media on a regular basis, and the reason you do that is because you like what they're putting out there, okay? Whether you want to label them as an influencer or not, fine, but you follow them because what their content is, or their regularity of getting stuff out there, is amazing. Let's talk a little bit about social media platforms. What are the most, Alexander, in your opinion, what are the most effective platforms? Now, we've got, as I said at the top of the show, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I mean, you can go on and on and on. What are the most effective ones out there that you can use or think are, for selling real estate? What are the more effective from, people looking at it and people wanting to go back to it? Is it a particular site that interests people more than others? What is it?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Vince. And
my pleasure.
The energy here is really, really, really good. And I just wanted to quickly add, I was at Anthony's event last year. That's how we met. And I think I met every single person I know in New York.
Through him.
One show, that's all you had to go to.
Yeah. I met my friends who are not even in real estate. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here?
Hey, it's the event of the year. Why not?
Yeah,
I got to go.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, but answering your question, Vince, I don't think it's really easy to say which one is better than the rest or most efficient. If you only can use one, I would just say go for Instagram, because I think it's this medium, it's like a golden middle between being professional and being personal, because you can be personal on your Instagram stories, but you can also be professional in your posts.
Yeah.
And then if you're in this country and in this city in New York, pretty much everybody's on Instagram, right? With geopolitics on the way, without it, I would say TikTok would probably be second closest, the best. Now we don't even know whether it's going to be around or not next year. I personally think it will.
It will.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
Yeah, but just in case, I opened up YouTube account after hearing the news.
YouTube account, watch the show on YouTube. There you go. No, but you're right. You're 100% correct. But I do think, though, that TikTok will be here next year. They're going to figure out a way. I mean, how could you take something away from people
Yes,
that is such a booming bonanza success? You can't do that. And if we do, we're stupid. Okay, we'll do something about that. But so you find success on both.
I find success on both, and also that's like a customer's journey. The client is experiencing a journey with you, so maybe in a way it's not a one platform. So they would see your apartment tour on TikTok, and then they want to find out who are you in person in real life. So they're gonna go on Instagram, and in addition to apartment tours, they might see your cooking, or your cat or dog, or your better half, or your worse half, and then they love it. Right? And then they get to see you as a person. And then maybe some of them might actually be interested in the apartment. I mean, not everyone is, but, if someone is, they're going to go to YouTube.
Right.
See the longer format.
Correct. So they're going to follow that to another place where they can get more information. And then ultimately, what do? They're going to call you, they're going to text you, they're going to email you, they're going to be in touch with you as that creator.
As long as they saw you in the past 3 to 4 weeks. So if your content is older than 3 to 4 weeks, very likely they're going to reach out to whoever's content is newer.
Talk to me about repeating content. I mean, especially on TikTok, okay? Because there's so much content, real estate, in everything, but real estate-wise, where we all focus and pay attention. Talk to me a little bit about repeat content. Does that make sense, or does it not?
Yeah, it does. So repeat in terms of being consistent with content. Yeah. That's one thing. Repeat in terms of recycling your content, that's the other thing.
Well, both. A little bit of both, right?
Right.
I mean, we don't want to spam people, constantly. We don't. But like you said, 4-week shelf life, and then they forget about it. So does it make sense to go back with that same post or no?
Yes. So sometimes it does. There used to be a time during pandemic where I would have exactly the same apartment tour, but since I didn't have a lot of access to apartments, I mean, most of us didn't, I would basically just rewind the apartment. So I would go from the beginning to the end, and then tomorrow I would go from the end to the beginning, use the same song, and both times it would go viral. It was crazy. We're talking about 2019, 20, right? Now, obviously, it becomes more complicated, but, it's good to show once in a while what you're working on. And in terms of consistency, it's nice, you don't have to produce a masterpiece, I feel, every single day, but as long as you have something to show, that's definitely top of the mind awareness, people thinking about you.
Top of mind when I'm teaching social media and continuing ed. Yeah. One of the things I repeat, constantly is top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. Mike, if anyone's an influencer on all of the platforms that I see you on, it's you. I mean, it's astounding how you have grown a business quickly and have maintained it. And we talked a little bit about offline about some of your successes. Tell us, tell us a little bit about how you got there and how you got to continue to do what you do so people don't forget and that you stay top of mind.
Yeah, so it's been about a year doing social media and whatnot. We've grown to about 150,000 followers. It's rare that I'm in a room with someone who has way more followers than me.
He did this one. I mean, it's beyond.
What you've done is so impressive. It's incredible. And it's the same thing that we talked about before we went live. At least post every day. Yeah. Do something. There's been times where I don't have content to post, and you're like, I got to throw up a 10-second clip of something. And, I said this last time I was on your show, my social media has become my my Christmas cards. Instead of sending out Christmas cards to clients to remind them, hey, I exist, every time they log onto Instagram, they see my company's logo, they see the stories, they see the videos, and that's just the best way to stay on top of people's minds. And, in terms of...
What's the best platform that, I know you're on it, but what's the platform in your mind that you think you get the most bang for the buck? The old expression, bang for the buck, right? Okay, where do you get that? Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram?
So I ran these numbers last night to really figure it out. TikTok is about 43% of my entire business, and then Instagram is a close second at 40, and then that other 17%, whatever it is, it's just random stuff. So I love TikTok.
Shocking.
But it gets weird. We were talking about this before we went live. Algorithms change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was doing millions of views on TikTok. The next day, it's, 10,000. And then it changes.
But what's interesting to me for both of you, really, it's like I look at it and I admire you and your stuff, and certainly you and your stuff, but I look at both of you and a few others and think this is exhausting. How do you keep up with this? I mean, short of running around all day long and doing videos and doing business, right? At the same time, we can't forget what we do here is business, right? So how do you keep that going?
So for me, I'm curious to
From
hear
an exhaustive
your answer.
perspective.
You know, my favorite thing in the entire world is going into these apartments. That's like half the reason I got into this
of
business.
course.
Because, you know, when I was in a $60 million apartment the other week, I wouldn't have had that opportunity just doing rentals in the financial district, you know?
$60 million apartment.
One day, right?
One day.
Tomorrow.
But, you know,
Unbelievable.
that's half the fun. And then in terms of, you know, managing my business while doing all this, I have to rely on the agents that I partner with.
Yeah.
You know, right now we're working on building out a team at Compass, but in the meantime, I have 8 agents who really help me work with this huge influx of clients that we have to deal with every single day. You know, we've had days where it's 80 brand new qualified leads, and you got to talk to these people within 5 minutes. Otherwise, they're going to go to the next person that they see.
And that happens. And by the way, we got to take a break. No one here is going anywhere. We're coming right back. This is Talking New York Real Estate on the More Network. Don't go anywhere.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business. And it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.
Okay, we are back, everybody. Alexander, so, you know, following what Mike just said here, keeping up with the exhaustive schedule of going into every apartment, shooting every apartment, at the same time trying to keep business going, at the same time trying to be creative. You know, one of the things I struggle with in social media is, you know, how can I do that differently than I did yesterday or last week? How, you know, where's the creativity there? What am I missing? Or how do you get that inspiration every day?
I'm actually exhausted, so I'm not the best example here.
As am I, but I'm not doing social media like you are.
What helps me is having an ecosystem of people like Mike and William, meeting on a constant basis so you can brainstorm together. You can also schedule some things out. Like, it's hard to schedule creativity. You cannot say tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm creative, right? So that's why, because it comes random. So you need to create the system around you where actually you have to be creative. Usually that means having, say, maybe one day a week or so when you just shoot content, or a few hours, you know, once in a while. And then you don't have any, no one's disturbing you. You switch your phone off. So maybe you should pick up specific time when, like, no one's gonna call you, which for us is never. But
I was gonna say that it's never, but I love it when you text somebody and it's like, this is on silent mode or whatever. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
exactly. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah. And also, I think just going for the essential. I'm trying now to, like, focus on just, like, essential things in my life mostly, but at work as well. So whatever answers the main question will be like, how do I sell more apartments, right? So whoever answers this question, right, you just do it. So, like, if I go and film this listing and then I'm gonna post it tomorrow, will it help me to, you know, sell more apartments? And if it does, somehow you get more energy and then you become less exhausted.
Well, that's it. And I actually can see that. Well said, because I can see that in both of your, you know, presentations, as I like to call them, day after day after day. You know, one of the first places I go when I get onto TikTok is to his, because it pops up actually all the time because I follow it. And now and it's the same thing. So it's like you get that, you feel what I feel what you guys are feeling, or I feel that energy, because it really, in all of what we do in real estate, right, and all of what we do on social media, it's all about that energy and how we use it to inspire people going forward. William, let me ask you about your company. First of all, very unique name, Fairly Even.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what your company is, what you do, how you work with Anthony, and what you're going to be sponsoring this year at the New York City Expo, because it is social media related, and it does help all of us, you know, do our job, which is sell real estate. Tell us about your company.
Okay, awesome. Well, Vince, thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.
That's the first thing. It's an amazing platform. And thanks for being here also and helping to put this together. So my company's called Fairly Even. I'm one of the teammates. And what we do is we look at ourselves as a friend to all real estate agents. We're not real estate agents ourselves. We're here to help you in terms of getting awareness and credibility at the New York City Real Estate Expo. So we'll do some content with you, record it, and then leading up to the show, about 2 months or 3 months, we'll do a campaign where every day you get to see miniature clips of the podcast that we've done. So Alexander, we did an excellent podcast with him at I loved it. It was the third floor in Soho.
Soho, 594 Broadway.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll also do another one with you and with you. And our job is to highlight you at the New York City Real Estate Expo. What we do is actually life insurance. So we're more so focused on adding value in that way. So we're not competing with any of the real estate agents. So we're happy to give you a light, more awareness, more attention, help you get leads, introduce you to people that are necessary. That's more of our focus, right, to give you a platform here at the New York City Real Estate Expo. Now, in terms of how I work with the New York City Real Estate Expo, we've got Face of the Expo packages, right, where you can actually gain the entire, well, I guess Anthony phrases it as the same way he was able to put together such an amazing show of 12,000 people and more. That's what the show would be helping you to gain in your personal brand, or your personal brand with respect to the show, and gain that type of credibility. Now, at the show in person, we've got some podcasts also. We've got some NBA players coming to discuss how they invest in real estate and what they do outside of the entertainment and sports world.
Invest as in buying and selling real estate?
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, we're not agents, so we're happy to introduce you, and you guys can get the commissions. And that's exciting. So my job is just to work with Anthony to bring the best qualified professionals inside and outside of real estate. And he's also given me some amazing people to interview, like Bob Knackle, who's a freaking legend. Such the nicest guy ever.
I just talked to him last week. He's really cool, yeah.
Completely
really cool.
Brilliant guy, economist. Paul Massey, who's ADHD like myself, which I thought was amazing. Right? I was like, way to go, dude.
You mean there's someone else who's got the same thing?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, right? So, Anthony, I really appreciate that, right? Allowing me to participate.
He's another cool guy,
space.
Very cool guy.
For sure. What?
They've all been on the show.
Oh, yeah? So basically that's what we do. We're more of a life insurance company. We add value in that way.
See, that's news to me. Okay, I didn't know that. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's why we don't compete with any of the real estate agents. So we're like a friend to all agents. We're here to help you meet who you need to meet, get in front of the audience here at the show, and add support. So you can say, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for, and I'll bring it to Anthony, and Anthony and I will figure out what's the best way to add value from an awareness standpoint with respect to the show. And then at the show, we've got podcasts and some guest speakers that are talking about what they do inside and outside of real estate.
Commentary on what he just said? I mean, it sounds brilliant to me.
No, it's very good. I believe he sent me a flyer on an event of his, and I was like very proud to see that, and I reached out to him. We said hi, and then I liked him so much, I asked him to come to the expo to be interviewed by Altivice. Yeah. So that's how we met. And the thing that we're going to be doing, of course, many of the people advertise with The Real Deal or the Jeff Mann Report. I'm the Mann Report, not Jeff Mann, the Mann Report. But we want to come out with something different. We want people to experience going to the expo, and basically our little thing is going to say that if you enjoy this event, do you want these people at your door? And so that's a lot of people. If we could get those 12,000 to your door as well. So we're going to try to promote that, and that's where William comes in with Fairly Even and helps us out in a lot of ways. We have a lot of big plans. We're trying to put that all together. That's not out there yet. It's coming onto our new website, our new page, as to how we'll market. If you look at the name badge, you'll see your picture on the back. So you'll see that
boy.
too.
Can I
another calling card with
a
photograph?
The international. Can I?
Yes. Oh yeah. And this is the other thing too. I'm going to say something that there are some big events out there. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Cityscape or the Real, not the Real Deal, but
Real.
the Real. But there are some major big events out there, and we're now starting to experience that. A lot of these companies, last year we had 12 international firms come to our trade show. This year I believe we're going to have 40 of them. We're talking about Portugal, Mexico, Costa Rica. He actually just went down to one of our Costa Ricas. He'll explain that to you later. But we're bringing them in from Dubai, Turkey, Saudi Arabia. They're actually coming this year. It's very fascinating. So if we could incorporate that and bring that to the Expo next year, we have about 165 exhibitors. We'll have another room that will be just 100 international.
Wow. So,
go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was really enthusiastic to participate in was to be on our international team. So I went down to Costa Rica and met a lady by the name of Sylvain, who's got $100 million in real estate down there in the southern region. And she's been doing it for about 40 years, and all her properties are near where the new airport is going to be built, right? So that's an excellent location to go and invest early. So I'm very excited to be a part of that project and a lot more. And Anthony and I will be working together to showcase that property. We've got a hotel in Jamaica. I think that's 3.2 million.
It's a boutique type of small, cozy hotel.
Yeah, and basically highlighting these different international opportunities and showing realtors how they can get commissions on selling those properties, or investors how they can get appreciation by buying those properties.
You know how you get those beautiful flyers from the hotels like Hyatt, and they're really gorgeous. And they have all those vacation places. Or we're going to obviously go out there and help our international friends and show all those properties for you guys to get affiliated with. So we want to make sure we put that out for you guys to say, obviously, I think we're also working with so many different people in Spain, on different areas, Greece and Turkey.
Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal.
I mean, I know this takes a village. Trust me, I've known you for many, many years. But do you, or have you given thought to doing this more than once a year? I mean, because this one here would love it twice a year, because I think there would be an audience for it. For sure. Two times a year.
I survey that and I kind of market that, and I was going to try to, obviously it's better to do smaller events like Biz Now, but many of my clients said, don't do it. If you do it, you're
I think,
lose
you know, you can't, what's the expression? Don't fix what isn't broken?
Yes.
Okay.
Now
stick with it.
We had an event tomorrow.
Yeah,
you were the moderator.
Right.
Spotlight Series. So we backed off on that, and then the following week
we're marching tomorrow.
The following month we were going to have Mike on that, but because of the March, we postponed it. So we're going to regroup, and then we also have a little fight with our food vendors because Benjamin wants to have it at their place and have breakfast.
Oh,
for
brother,
everybody.
that's not a bad thing.
Everybody's beating each other up, even the.
That's
food
not
vendors.
a bad fight.
So we're probably going to we're going to start that in December and have these little events where we're hoping that you're going to be the moderator, and we'll probably do about 6 or 7 of those. So those will be the little events, and we're going to love those. And Mike, we can't wait to have you on there because we didn't want to have 6 people on there. We wanted to just keep it to like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I can't
said
wait.
Mike is ready, but I'll have Mike choose his team.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. So, between the both of you, there are best practices in almost everything we do, right?
Yeah.
Best practices in real estate, now best practices in social media. When you're talking about content and trying to engage content, do you kind of use any kind of best practices to get those listings, get that visibility on whatever you want to talk about out there, or is it just kind of winging it? And I mean, I know a lot of people who just kind of wing it and say, "Hey, not a bad thing if that's what happens." But I kind of like to stick to that best practices thought because that's how I was born and raised, and I'm a hell of a lot older than both of you. What best practices might you think about or use?
So are you asking when I'm trying to get into these apartments to shoot, or when
Both.
I'm making the? Oh, okay.
Both.
So
Because getting in is half the battle.
Getting in is tough. I said this earlier. There's a lot of people in real estate right now who do not get what we do. They don't like what we do, and they will
That's
fight.
shocking to me.
But it's almost like football. And I don't even know anything about sports.
I know about football. That's
but,
about it.
You fight and you fight to get a yard, and then out of nowhere, the field opens up and you can just sprint. If I find one person who gets what we do and they run a building, they're like, absolutely, come in, film every apartment, do everything you want. So really, it's just trying as much as possible, meeting as many people as possible in the industry. And then, when it comes to making videos, my whole thesis is just provide value and be transparent. My viewers know that they can come to my video, they can see exactly what that specific apartment is like, they know that it's available, and they know the price and the location and my opinion. And they know that, and that's why so many people reach out. because they can spend 60 seconds looking at this apartment instead of taking a week.
Well, I was going to ask about the video aspect of it, the video walkthroughs. Okay, what you guys do is genius, because whether you're in the market for that kind of apartment or not, what these videos do sometimes, or the walkthroughs from room to room to room, show you maybe another option. Maybe I wasn't thinking about this or that, but looking at that video puts it all in perspective. What kind of comments do you get back in your social media postings with those video walkthroughs and with highlighting really what this apartment's all about?
Yeah, so you really need like a wow factor every single time. And from
what's wow though? The dishwasher, the washer dryer, what's wow?
So you either need something insanely expensive, really cool, like Mike mentioned, $60 million apartment, penthouse, something that is so unaffordable for 99.9% of population that they will say, what the hell are you thinking about, you New Yorker, first world problem? Or you need a really crappy old rental, maybe expensive or maybe cheap apartment without dishwasher, with like apartment will be like a closet. That's it. That's all you got. With a shared facilities, maybe. This would shoot as well. It will be viral.
Tell me why.
I guess people like contrasts. I guess people like whatever is unusual to them, because most of us in the world, I feel like, live in a relatively good places nowadays, right? And then if you see that in New York, a crappy studio on the Upper East Side will be like $3K, $3.5K, and sometimes you don't even have your own bathroom. And even people from elsewhere, they will be shocked, right? Or
the price of studios the last few years have been astounding.
Astounding, big time, I agree. Or show them the penthouse, $60 million, $100 million. That's not hard to find in Manhattan. And then someone from Texas would say, you know what, for $300K, I can have mansion and 2 graveyards and cemetery next to me belonging to me, and they will still have a change.
Well, if you've listened to me the last 20 years that I'm in this business, I say if I'm going to spend $60 million on a penthouse or on an apartment, really? No, I'm buying an island somewhere in the Caribbean, and I'm going to float around for the rest of my life.
Exactly. Okay? Which, by the way, can be done within 5-6 million or less.
I know that.
Right?
True.
That's the point, right? So live off the rest of the $60 million. But look, people got it. They're going to spend it. If you got $500 million, what are you going to do with it, right?
Exactly.
So you buy a $60 million product.
Then maybe one more last thing. Maybe what also works, if you are like polarizing in your opinions. I mean, we have to be careful here, because like with my twisted sense of humor, like I don't want to be canceled on Instagram, but if you're on the edge, I posted once, I was touring Chicago apartments a couple of years ago, and I posted an apartment tour. I just wanted to show New Yorkers what, kind of apartments you can buy for the same money, actually pretty good deals. But apartment was like a Trump building, and like all the comments were like, why are you showing us? It's a crappy building. I hate this guy. Why are you showing? And I'm like, I have nothing to do with Trump. I can't even vote in this country. It's all for the market.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. How long are you in this business?
I came to New York in 2018, and I started in this business same time.
My word.
When did you start TikTok?
Like the very end of 2019, right before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
5 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I was shooting just rental apartments. Rental apartments.
And how many followers again?
TikTok?
Yeah.
A little over 800,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, movie stars don't have 800,000 followers. I mean, it's incredible to me.
Some movie stars not even on social media. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not either. They're not on it, or if they are on it, it's like they don't have.
That would be.
Oh, we have so much more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. This is the More Network, and you're listening to Talking New York Real Estate. Don't go anywhere. We are back. William, quick question. So,
Sure.
Let's talk about what some of the things you can actually provide for a real estate professional.
Oh, sure.
To get their business out there, to get it. These guys are already superstars. I mean, I'm sure they could appreciate more, but what are you actually offering to the real estate professional where they can take what you give them, take, how you train them, and just run and hopefully make it to the top?
Okay, excellent. So something I don't know if I can announce. Well, I can announce it now, but I can't really talk about it in detail.
We like announcements.
Is the credits, the real estate credits through streaming. that we are that's going to happen live and inside a platform.
Okay.
But for real estate agents directly, I'm great at running ads. That's really my thing when it comes to social media. And social media is pay to play. They do switch the algorithms very often. And I mean, if you
unfortunately they do. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So the truth is, if you have a budget, I know how to target. I know how to A/B test, how to create video content, how to create text copywriting, flyers, run ads, and then double down on what's actually working to turn those dollars into qualified leads that can then convert into sales, right? So that's really what I'm best at when it comes to social media. We do it inside the Real Estate Expo, and we'll be doing it for other people when we launch our Face of the Expo packages. So that's when it comes to content directly or running ads and content directly for real estate agents, that's where I add value.
So you provide assistance if somebody needs. I mean, a lot of people tell me whenever we talk about social media on this program, a lot of people say, well, I don't really know how to write, or I'm not a great writer, or I need help with content. And even when I'm teaching social media in real estate school, they're like, well, you know what? I hear what you're saying, Vince, but I'm not really a great writer.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple ways to do it, right? So Facebook ads library is the first place you want to go where you want to look at what your competitors are doing.
Right.
You can actually see what's working, what's not working, and then you can create your own version of it.
But Facebook has such a stigma. I talk about Facebook in my teaching all the time, and they're like, huh? Facebook? What? By the way, Facebook still has the largest number of followers, or whatever you want to call them, in all of the apps around the world by millions.
Plus purchasing power is different on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
level.
very different. It's next level, but everybody ignores it.
I'm just going to be very blunt here. Facebook has an audience of qualified buyers.
Yes. Big
Qualified buyers. And they own WhatsApp, they own Instagram, and of course Facebook, right? So they've got an amazing targeting ability. And the beautiful thing about Facebook is even if you don't have access to the leads, but you have somewhat of a base, you can do a lookalike audience where you can use their data without them sharing it with you to find the people that you're looking for, right? So you can actually target leads that are homeowners, right? These are homeowners or people that are looking for their peer-to-peers, right?
Correct.
All through Facebook and digital advertising. So that's what I'm really best at, and that's how I add value.
Are you and I going to talk?
Sure.
Mike, so $1 million question. Do you consider yourself an influencer, a social media influencer? I'm a big fan, you know that.
Yeah, no, I joke about it all the time. But, if you ever look at my content, this is the only time I'm ever on camera. I never show my face.
No, I know you don't.
I'm very specific about it.
I didn't get it in the beginning, but I absolutely get it now.
Yeah, it's I get recognized more by my voice than anything.
Yeah.
I've had a couple people walk up and be like, I've seen you in the mirror on TikTok.
You got the signature voice.
Yeah.
I've seen you in the mirror on TikTok. That's $1 million comment.
That's
oh my
amazing.
God.
So I don't think of it as an influencer because all my social media platforms are I just call it my real estate company. That's what I do. My company is we put apartments out there, we generate leads, we close deals, that's it. And I like to be a little bit separated from that because you follow my private Instagram.
Yes, I do.
have like 400 followers. Nothing.
Well, yes, and I get that. We chatted a little bit about that yesterday. But I totally get that. But what you do though, and when I first, he contacted me about the show, and then I'm like, but who is he? What does he look like? But then I realized it doesn't matter what he looks like or who he is, because what I'm watching him do here is amazing and gets my interest. I'm not looking to rent an apartment or buy anything at the moment, but I'm like, I'm interested here because of what he does. And as he just said, showing people out there who you are doesn't really matter. Alexander, are you an influencer in this world and land of social media?
I pretty much agree with Mike. I'm a real estate agent first and foremost, so someone who shows apartments, and if someone is looking for the apartment, I hope to be the one that they will land on in terms of social media content. I guess in a way we are all influencers, maybe just different scope. If Tom Cruise posts something right now, he's gonna influence like the whole planet, right? Top Gun. And then maybe if an agent with 10 followers posts an apartment, he will still influence someone. But also influencer is just a funny term because you see all those people and sometimes millions of followers, and I work with some of them, and I did have like big sales with some of them, and with others, they wouldn't even qualify for the apartment, yet they are influencers, right? You probably got the same experience.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
right.
It's like how we define influence in someone. If you can generate tons of comments, that's one thing, but if you cannot rent an apartment in New York, which is, again, maybe not the best benchmark because not everybody can. But,
well, I guess you could define the term influencer in so many different ways. It's not, that you're wealthy. I mean, I know a lot of influencers out there that do nothing but post all day long, and they make money from ads and stuff, a comfortable living, but what else do they really provide? You guys, and I love the answer you both gave, you're real estate professionals first. That's your business. You found social media as a tool, right, to help you promote your business, promote yourselves, and get your business on track, or to keep it there.
Absolutely. And can I just add one thing?
Yeah, please.
One thing that I think about when considering am I an influencer or not is, I don't share opinions at all. I don't influence people.
No.
Maybe I influence, hey, I think, Dumbo's a great neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, but that's
about it. But, same thing with, if you post the Trump building and everyone freaks out, I avoid, and that obviously wasn't a statement at all, I avoid any opinions, anything that might be divisive besides people deciding if an apartment's worth it or not. You
have to. I mean, I always say keep politics out of and keep religion out of
absolutely.
It has no place in real estate promo, whatever.
Our job is to find people a home. I don't care about anything,
Right. One of the reasons, Anthony, we have this show today is because you're the Expo, which I've been a part of for 10 years, but also you're so up on and so high on the social media aspect of our industry, right? Tell us what about social media, whether you engage in it actively or not, what about social media intrigues you? What about these two?
Well, these guys,
or about what William does?
Well, obviously, guys, I am the influencer.
It's true.
Guys,
I can't get 12,000 people.
I didn't even ask the question.
I'm the boomer influencer. You guys are the future, and obviously,
that's it.
Like Mike has. I'm sorry, you said 400 followers.
On my personal Instagram, it's like 150,000. Yeah,
business. So we just started in the old days, of course. In our days, we were aligning up with the media. Mm-hmm. So my great experience, what I did, and how we were successful is align up with the media. So we would trade with them. So instead of me paying them $75,000 to $100,000 in ads, I would ask them to come in and be a part of the expo, make them feel though the expo is theirs as well. Mm-hmm. So that was my success. So I really never even got into social media, never did, until now. Now that I met with William, we're starting to put it together. So, but still, I'm still the old-fashioned believer. Okay, the mouth and the handshake. That's
and the phone,
and the handshake and the phone. And that's it, because obviously I'm ahead of the game. I'm 16 years in it, 17 years in it, 20 years in it. And so I already have my data. But it's all personal. It's all, like you said, handshake and voice. Mm-hmm. I do go to a lot of these events, and I do trade with a lot of people in the sense of, bringing them over to our show. We have a big event in South Carolina that's going to be coming up in 2025. And that's going to be... Actually, there's a big event. I'm not sure if you two guys know about it. The Triple Play in Atlantic City. Are you familiar with it? Oh, geez, Louise, you're in real
Carolina.
Estate. Sign me up. That's a big event for real estate brokers, for real estate agents. So a lot of you guys go down there, and it's really amazing. But I think it's big for the guys like Keller Williams and Exit and EXP. Those type of companies, Remax and those type of companies. So, but that's because they're national, they're all over the place. What I was getting to is that what I like to do is I like to bring people in. I'm a uniter. So I bring people in and I say, run this department, run that department, go here and do this, do that. So this event in the South, these guys down in the South, they're looking at me like saying, what? What are you doing? I go, I'm going to give you guys the best show you ever seen in your life. Because I'm going to bring North Carolina down and Atlanta, Georgia up. And we're going to meet right in the middle, right here at Greenville. So we're going to create. In 10 years, it will be probably the biggest event there it's going to be our triple play.
Yeah.
Okay, they're talking about this nice railroad station going from North Carolina, Charlotte to Atlanta, Georgia. That's amazing. But if that does hit, it's amazing. But I just unite with people. What was the question again? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was going to follow with, are you a connector? But you already gave me all the stories, so you absolutely are a connector.
We're just, I've been connecting.
No, I just wanted to know, your use of your definite interest in and understanding of how social media really is important, but you using it as much as
true. So
everybody else.
Old-fashioned social media, the mouth and the handshake, you guys are the future. And I realize that we have to align ourselves up with you guys, and we are. You're on the social media panel, a sponsor coming in doing podcasting. And Mike, we'd love to talk to you and get you involved somehow with Vince. Absolutely. So I want to get this three together. There's a lot of things. Trust me, after this podcast here, we're going to bring this over to the trade show. If Vince is okay with it and William's okay
100%.
with it. So there's a lot of things. There's amazing.
100%. I wanted to ask you about LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is like the elephant in the room, okay? We talk about TikTok. We talk about all of the platforms. They're all useful and they're all beneficial to our industry, whatever. But LinkedIn, it's kind of the sleeper of all of the apps out there because it's very business oriented. It's also a very global app. I mean, they all are. But LinkedIn, when I post, real estate stuff on LinkedIn, I sometimes get commentary or questions from foreign lands. Yeah. Good. More so than anywhere else on my social media stuff, from Russia, from Italy, from Spain. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow. You forget the global aspect of it. Do you use LinkedIn at all, or is it like, he's laughing? I already know the answer.
Honestly.
What's LinkedIn? Right, exactly.
When I was in college,
you can say no, it's okay.
No, I do.
Okay.
I never wanted to apply for a job. That was my whole thing. I was like, I never want to send someone my resume. I want to do my own thing. So I never looked at LinkedIn. But my girlfriend does really great branding and marketing and whatnot. She was like, your business doesn't look reputable at all because you're not on LinkedIn. So I'm trying to grow a LinkedIn following. But any social media is going to be very helpful in any way, shape, or form. And, to the point that William said, Facebook has a ton of qualified buyers in the same way that LinkedIn does.
Absolutely.
So if you can make content any way, shape, or form, put it on any platform, if it gets 10 views, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Or on all platforms. I like to say, put it on all platforms. And if you get 5 or 10 views, hey, it's better than nothing, right? And sometimes people aren't going to like things. And, we'll talk about that offline because I'm always like, not horrified, but why don't people like things? You know that they're looking at stuff, right? But they don't like it. They don't want to be, publicly seen that they like something that Vince posted, whatever. It's like, whatever. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's funny about that, right? You can have because you have your analytics. You could be doing 100,000.
Well, exactly, right, and that's where you get the
unique people, and they might not like the content.
You're lucky if you get 5 likes,
but they saw it.
Absolutely.
But they saw it, right? You know what age?
That's my point.
Know what gender, what locations. It was like, I know you saw it.
I look at my analytics all the time.
I know where you are.
You're right.
There. We know where you are.
He's in the weeds. He's behind the scene looking at those numbers.
Social media pages has the analytics. You get to see what's in your stories. I look at
it all the time.
It's like you create a post and then you do a story, right? So the person. You see they're in your stories, but then they don't like your post. Have you seen that happen before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
I unfriend them all the time.
But you're 100% correct.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to get really torqued about that stuff, and now I look at the analytics and say, all right, fine. Yeah. They're looking, they're not liking, and that's okay. And I like everything. That's just who I am, right? LinkedIn. Tell me about your experience with LinkedIn, or not.
Just like Mike, I haven't been using it too much for different reasons, though, because I was in Russia and it was banned in Russia when I lived there. You really didn't have it.
I didn't
you
know
had to
that.
go abroad or use VPN.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When I moved here, I started using it a little bit.
Okay.
So I agree, you definitely have to use it. I know people that actually been selling real estate with LinkedIn and some YouTube combination.
Yes.
Right.
So it does work, and just like you guys said, I think
YouTube was another phenomenon, yeah.
Yeah, the quality of those people could be different. And also, I think every time people choose which media to go, if they go to LinkedIn, they're all professional with attire, people that are actually doing business. And I think it's a different mindset. And whoever is seriously doing business, they may actually buy an apartment from this post, as opposed to just scrolling TikTok, dancing cats or whatever. So maybe LinkedIn's actually a good to go thing.
You have to admit, though, TikTok, it took me a while to embrace it. I do like it. It took me a while to embrace it, but I do sometimes laugh out loud when I see some of these things pass by.
Yeah.
Like the TV news bloopers or the cat that jumps up on the thing and knocks the whole counter off of everything. Yeah. It's hilarious. People who fall, my best are when people fall down on ice. Hilarious, right? Absolutely hilarious. All right, we've got time for one more question. And I think this is important based on everything we talked about in social media today, right? And especially the liking aspect or not. How important is it to interact with followers if they do say something, if they do respond to an inquiry, or even if they ask a simple question? I know agents sometimes who say, I don't have time to go back and follow up on what I'm getting in response to my posting. How important, Mike, is it for you to follow up with people? You get tons of likes and questions, I know, but it is important, no?
So the thing is, I don't really see a tangible return, but I always, if someone comments a question, I'm going to do my best to answer it. Sometimes, and I get thousands of notifications every single day, so sometimes I miss it.
Right.
But I think, and I'm sure you would agree, engaging with your audience and making them see, like, oh, this is actually a real person. Like, this is someone I want to follow this account. So, and it's a small way to show a little bit of personality too. You send back a funny comment. But at the end of the day, people have questions, they want answers. If they didn't want an answer, they wouldn't comment. Sometimes people are really mean in my comments, so it hurts.
Well, no. But first of all, I don't like we said, we got to keep certain things out of our posting. I don't know why people. Oh my God, what did you just say to me? I don't know why people need to be hurtful, right? It doesn't. Just don't make any comment. Just keep quiet.
Here's the way that I look at it, and this is always, I've never been bothered by a comment except for like once, like years ago. If they comment on my post, whether it's them calling me an idiot or them saying they love this apartment, it shows the algorithm that people like the post. The algorithm doesn't know if a comment's positive or negative.
Right.
So they are just helping me. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So please be mean to me. Go ahead, yeah.
Can I comment on that, please? I think people that comment negatively they're dealing with some type of internal turmoil, right? And I find that winners,
very politically correctly said.
No, I'm just being blunt. Like people that are succeeding and trying to add value are in rooms like this collaborating, right? So I don't think anybody here is commenting on anybody's post something negative, right? That's not how you win. You win by creating sustainable relationships and adding value.
Absolutely.
So, stick in rooms like this and the comments really don't matter. I've seen some really not nice things, and you're just like, oh, you must be going through it.
Every once in a while, I'll get a bonehead who says, "Who do you think you are?" And I'm like, "I'm Vince Rocco."
Exactly.
I think I know who I am.
Shut them up. Right. Last word to you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You need haters in social media and in life. You need friends in social media and life. The more hateful comments you get, I think the more favored you are by the algorithm. And I love, when I have time, answering questions and comments. And it's actually like a lot of fun because you can actually, you can turn hater into friend within a few comments, right? And then they become your clients at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the good news. That's why you got to be, professional in your response and in your posting, but then in your response. And hey, you turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Right?
And also
that's what life is all about anyway.
Exactly. Like a lemon and lemonade and some sugar inside and Coca-Cola.
You got it all going on, mister. All right, listen.
And whiskey.
Gotta have
you
whiskey.
Start
right?
with that.
In my case, vodka. Well, you start with it. There you go.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
I learned it the hard way.
From where he comes from. I mean, from where he comes from. You can learn the hard way or the easy way. It doesn't matter.
Instead of milk.
Mike, William, Alexander, and my man, Anthony, thank you so much. We're coming right back in 1 second with my comments for the week. Don't go anywhere. Okay, everybody, we're back with my closing thoughts for this week. So, social media influencers hold significant value in today's digital landscape, serving as powerful conduits between brands and consumers. The ability to shape public opinion and drive consumer behavior stems from their authenticity, relatability, and the trust they build with their followers. Unlike traditional advertising, influencers leverage personal connections and niche communities, allowing brands to target specific demographics more effectively. Influencers can create engaging, creative content that resonates with their audience. This personalized approach often leads to higher engagement rates and stronger brand loyalty. Furthermore, influencers provide brands with direct feedback and insights into consumer preferences, helping them to refine their products and marketing strategies. As trusted voices in their respectful fields, influencers can amplify brand visibility, foster community engagement, and ultimately drive sales, underscoring their indispensable role in modern marketing. It's a whole new world. And that's our broadcast for today. Thanks to my guests for being here on set with me. You can follow me on Facebook, on Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, or TikTok at Vince Rocco, or my website, thinkvince.com. Oprah Winfrey says, if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. But if you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. And from all of us here at Talking New York Real Estate and the More Network, to all of you all around the world, thanks for spending a part of your day with us, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.